Oke, eh, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oke, good afternoon, Bapak Ibu. Today I'm Novita Narulia Sari and Bu Ema Wilianti Dewi would like to present today's topic of presentation with title Digital Innovation, Critical AI Literacy in Language and Literature. And I will be the first presenter, and then will be continued by Bu Emma. Okay, the purpose of this presentation is to understand the concept of critical literacy by explaining that AI literacy is not only the ability to use AI technology and emphasize the importance of critical thinking ability in evaluating AI output. And then the second purpose is to identify the benefits of AI in language and literature learning by explaining the benefits of AI in uh, grammar, vocabulary, writing, translation, and feedback learning. And then the third purpose of this presentation is to promote the ethical, critical, and responsible use of AI and examine the risk of AI use like hallucinations, bias, plagiarism, over-reliance, and shallow learning. And in examining the risk of AI use by identifying the risk of language bias and culture in AI output, and then explaining the potential of plagiarism and academic integrity. In promoting the ethical, critical, and responsible use of AI, I will try to articulate about the importance of verification, reflection, and academic responsibility, and how to encourage students for not just accept for not just accepting the AI output. And then the last purpose of this presentation is to emphasize the importance of the human role in maintaining creativity, meaning, and cultural sensitivity. It means that I would like to emphasize that AI may help the student in learning processes and to show the importance of human agency in reading, writing, uh, translating, or interpreting text. Okay, here are the overview of this presentation. They are the definition of AI literacy, the definition of critical AI literacy, the difference between using AI and critically using AI. And the last one is the relevance of critical AI literacy in language and literature. Okay, let's move to the AI literacy definition. What is AI literacy definition? According to NG et al. 2021, AI literacy includes several main aspects: knowing and understanding AI, using and applying, evaluating and creating AI, and understanding ethical issues. Meanwhile, Long and McGurko 2020, AI literacy is a set of competencies that enables individuals to critically evaluate AI technologies, uh, communicate and collaborate with AI, and use AI as a tool in daily life and work. And what about the critical AI literacy? Generally, critical AI literacy is understand, use, evaluate, and question AI tools and their outputs ethically and responsibly, especially in relation to language, meaning, culture, creativity, and learning. In applied linguistic and language education, critical AI literacy may be considered as a technical understanding of AI, the use of critical thinking when interacting with AI, awareness of ethical issues, and the application of AI in language learning practices. In language learning, it is viewed as the use of AI programmer, vocabulary, writing, translation, and feedback while still evaluating its accuracy and contextual appropriateness. And in literature learning, critical AI literacy is viewed as a starting point to understand themes, characters, plots, symbols, or interpretations, but its results still need to be examined through close reading, textual experience, cultural context, and literary theory. Okay. What is critical literacy actually in our daily life, especially for us as a lecturer and for our student? We have to make our student understand about the critical literacy. So it is about how can we use AI by employing our metacognitive, like having some questions in our mind about the use of AI, like is AI hallucination, or is the AI output is hallucination, or is it bias, or is it ethical to use in this context, or should I trust this AI output, and etc. Maybe you have the other question on your mind while you accept the AI output. And then the benefits of using AI generally, it may provide instant feedback, support independent and personalized learning, help teacher design materials, tasks, and classroom activities. And in language learning, it may help students understand grammar rules and correct language errors, enriches vocabulary, support writing, assist translation, support reading comprehension, support speaking and pronunciation practice. And in literature learning, AI may assist literary analysis, offers initial interpretations and multiple perspectives on literary texts, and encourages creativity in writing poems, stories, dialogues, and essays. Okay, AI may have some benefits, but it also have risks of AI use in language and literature teaching. The risks may cover hallucination, bias, plagiarism, over-reliance, and shallow learning. Okay, let's discuss it one by one. Before I go further, I'd like to articulate why, the reason why it is risky to use AI. Okay, we know that AI is have so many benefits. It is potential to be leveraged in our daily life, especially in teaching learning processes. But you have to remember one thing that you have to remember that AI AI usage also have risks. Uh, it, it is because AI is a machine learning in a large language model like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, Perplexity, Blackbox, and so on and so forth. And then because AI is a machine learning, so it is trained by the creator. It is trained using uh, uh, data like non-fiction data, fiction data, and the data that is stored on internet and social media, and uh, it is able to generate output like what we commonly accept. Okay, one risk of using AI is hallucination. What is hallucination? Hallucination is a situation in which AI produces information that sounds confusing, but is actually false, inaccurate, unsupported, and fabricated. Why? Why AI generate or produce hallucinations? It leads to AI just predicts language, so it doesn't always verify facts. And AI trained data is not always complete. AI also mix up information, and hallucination is can be caused by the user's prompt is too general, or AI tries to produce a coherent answer. And AI also does not truly understand the context. Okay. The example of hallucination uh, generated by AI in language learning. AI can provide primary explanation that sounds correct, but are actually inaccurate or not fully appropriate. For example, present perfect is always used for action that happened yesterday. This is the AI feedback. Yeah. So the example is the AI feedback. If we do not verify more from maybe from the book source or credible book source, we will be misled because AI provide the incorrect explanation. And then the hallucination in literature learning, AI can make up details about literary works. For example, in the novel Laskar Pelangi, the character Array represents political resistance against colonial power. Meanwhile, we know that Array is not the character of Laskar Pelangi. So uh, it is called hallucination because AI provides inaccurate data. The second risk is bias. Bias is a response, AI responses that are not balanced or tend to certain languages, cultures, values, genders, or perspectives. And there are bias in AI, in language learning, and in literature learning. The example of bias in AI, actually AI is not always neutral. For example, AI is trained from many data from internet, a book, article, website, and the other digital sources. The problem is the data is not balanced. There are so many language, country, and certain perspective that is dominantly trained to the AI. And then the simple example of a bias in AI, when we ask AI like this, describe a successful student? And then AI answer, a successful student is disciplined, confident, independent, competitive, and fluent in English. If you read the answer, it sounds normal, but it could be biased because AI is considered a student, the success student is should be uh, self-confidence, high self-confidence, competitive, independent, and fluent in English. Meanwhile, in some culture, in a certain culture, a success student can be seen also from their generosity, from their cooperation, from their moral value, and so on. So, bias in AI occurs when the answer is too influenced by a certain perspective or what is it, and value. Okay, how about bias in language learning? So in language learning, AI only focuses on certain language forms, uh, consider other forms of language as less correct, less appropriate, and less academic. For example, when student as AI, uh, a student writes or prompting, yeah, I want to improve my English because I need it for my job. So AI answer, uh, I make a refinement. I want to improve my English because I need it for my professional development. So according to AI, what is student right is inappropriate or maybe incorrect. So AI make a refinement like this. And then the second example, when a student asks AI, uses English in Indonesian style, like, I very agree with this opinion. And I ask answer, I will correct it into, I strongly agree with this opinion. Okay, and the bias in literature learning, AI may interpret literary works from a perspective that is too general and too Western oriented or insensitive to certain cultural contexts. For example, if AI is asked to analyze the Indonesian folktales, like the story teaches more values about honesty and kindness. And then the second, if AI is asked to analyze the Indonesian poem, uh, when the AI encountered the word padi, it will interpret uh, as plant or food. Meanwhile, padi in a poem can be interpreted as a life or fertility, hard work, prosperity, the identity of the identity of an agrarian society. Okay, and next, how to troubleshoot the bias in AI is by comparing AI output to academic resources, original text, and cultural context. And the second, and having a critical thinking, like, is AI answer to general or is AI comprehend the local context? Whose views dominates AI's answers? Is there any other views is overlooked? And the third, troubleshooting is in literature learning, always use textual evidence and cultural context to evaluate the AI feedback. Okay, the next risk is plagiarism. Plagiarism means claiming others' idea, sentence, or words. And plagiarism in language learning is when a student asks AI to write English essay or copy AI output without revisions and reflections. And Also, students use AI to paraphrase without without any understanding of the original text. And the example of plagiarism in literature learning is when students ask AI to generate and copy analysis poem, novel, or drama analysis. AI-generated analysis is not represent students' cognitive process, and this reduces academic integrity in depth of the literary reading experience. For example, when students are asked to write poem analysis and copy AI's answer deals with theme, symbol, and meaning. And when students are asked to write an argumentative essay, just by copying AI's answer. And the last example is when students use AI to paraphrase academic article without understanding. And the troubleshooting for plagiarism is use AI as an assistive tool. Use AI for brainstorming, revision, feedbacks, and add ideas, argument, examples, and self-reflections. And the next risk is over-reliance. Over-reliance means when a student or someone is too dependent to AI. And the over-reliance in language learning is the dependent of use of AI for immediate feedback and lack of confidence in writing vocabulary building. For example, when a student makes sentence or paragraph without any understanding. So over-reliance in literature learning is when students prefer reading a summary than original literature text. The dependent use of AI to identify theme, symbol, character, and meaning, lack of deeper understanding of the literature works. For example, when students rely on AI to summarize and analyze instead of performing close reading. So in learning processes, over-reliance occurs when a student is too open to use AI and makes them lose their self-confidence and independence. And the troubleshooting for over-reliance, it could be using AI after trying the complete task by yourself first. So students have to complete the task first before using AI, and treat AI as checking tool, not as a cognitive crutch. Compare your own work with AI suggestion. Ask for the reasons behind a correction. AI used to improve your work or students' work, not to create the entire task. And teachers or lecturers can set the clear rules in AI usage. For example, the first draft must be written without AI, and AI may only be used during the revision stage. And student must be able to explain the changes they made after using AI. And student must write in a reflection on what they learned from AI assistant. The next risk of AI use is shallow learning. Shallow learning is the use instant answer from AI without any deep processing or understanding. So in this shallow learning process, student look like complete the task, but actually they do not understand the process, the concept, or the reason behind the answer. And in AI context, shallow learning occurs when student is only take the immediate feedback or instant answer without reading, thinking, and clarifying or reflecting. Maybe AI can give a correct and convincing answer, but it is not always the student understand the learning materials. For example, when students write grammatically correct essay, yet they are unable to explain the content. Okay, so learning in literature learning is memorizing themes, unable to connect interpretation to quotes or textual evidence, unable to comprehend social, cultural, and historical context of literary works, unable to think critically in literary discussion. For example, students are unable to identify which lines interpret a theme of a poem loneliness, or unable to explain how the conflict is developed through characters and plot. Okay, troubleshooting for shared learning is we as an educator can encourage students to ask for reasons like why is the answer correct, what is the evidence, uh, which part of the text support this interpretation, are there alternatives interpretation, what are the limitations of this AI response, and then the assessment may focus on cognitive processes instead of merely outcomes. And the third troubleshooting can be conducted is encourage students to engage in reflective practices to increase of what they learn. Okay, that's all from me. And the presentation will be continued by Bu Ema. Bu Ema, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Bu Novi, for the chance. So, Bapak Ibu, before that, do you hear any background noise from my home? Is that it? Okay?
Oke, Bu Ema.
Okay, Bu.
Okay, because there's ibu-ibu in front of my house who is doing arisan. All right, so I will continue the presentations. So if we move to the evolution from static tools to conversational collaborator. So Bapak Ibu, generative AI requires a fundamental shift here. So educators must transition from managing tools to navigate complex and also the intelligent systems. Back then or a long time ago, in language learning, we know that the tools named the computer assisted language learning, or we can call it CALL. So it's for the role of memorizations and then the spell checkers and also the static quizzes. And then after that, there's the transitions between the natural language processing, which we familiarly know about the machine translations like the Google Translate, and then basic grammar checking in our Microsoft Words or something. And then in the present and the futures, we know the the large language models or LLMs. So it's the AI that we know today. So it's for the conversational AI and then dynamic writing assistance, adaptive personalized feedback. All right, we go to the next slide, Sponovi. Okay, so I basically want to share to you about the implementations of AI in English language teaching, also in literary studies. Here, the work from Helen Crompton, Adam Emmett, and et al. They study about the AI and English language teaching, their affordances and challenges. So they found that the use of AI in NLT is for speaking, writing, reading, pedagogy, and also the self-regulations. And after this, I will share you the details. Next book. All right, so we start from the speaking or the use of AI in speaking. So we can break the speaking barrier with automatic speech recognitions. So from the research, the speaking or the use of AI in speaking is for the sub skills of the speaking. There is the pronunciation, and then on the pedagogy, there's the conversational partner, and then language coaching, and also the multimodal. And then the technology that is used for the speaking or AI for speaking is speech recognition, and then adaptive learning, automatic speech analysis, and then voice assistance. And then the next. All right. So here, actually, AI acts a tireless conversational partner, addressing the primary concern of global reality, a lack of individualized speaking practice times. So basically, the problem from the learning English speaking is that we cannot find any partner that is not tired at all when we speak to them, and then the AI provide the limitless and then tireless conversational partner, so we can talk to AI and then we can make the conversations with AI without any any complaints from the AI. And then here we see that the AI spectrogram analysis, the system visualizes speech and also intonation patterns. If you have tried about the ChatGPT, for example, the simplest one, when we talk to ChatGPT, then the visualizations is there. And then the targeted real-time feedback, AI highlights the specific pronunciation corrections. Maybe human is not that detail in correcting pronunciation, so AI can give more detailed corrections on your pronunciation, and then it reduces affective filter, so learner anxiety drops, and then increasing willingness to practice. So the students or we tend to be not that shy when we talk to AI, and then the learner output, student speaks in a low stakes private environment, so they can boost their confidence when they speak with AI. And then the next slide, Novi. Okay, and then we move to the AI for reading. From the research, the reading sub-skills that is usually used by the students or by people in using AI is the vocabulary. And then the pedagogy is gaming here. And then the technology is the adaptive learning, and then digital translations, and also gaming. Well, actually, people tend to use their reading in AI in reading the people tend to use AI for reading, use the gaming features from the AI, so the reading can be more interesting. And then in the next slides. All right, so cultivating social presence in listening comprehension. So AI also can be used in listening, actually. So in the traditional architecture, the listening is usually in fixed pace, and then passive perceptions, high stakes for missing informations, and also standardized audio. In AI-enhanced architectures in listening, it's like the learning body framework, and it has the adaptive pacing, infinite patience for repetitions, and then conversational and supportive environment. Well, the idea here is the word patience. So AI is more passionate than real human. They will not complain at all when we try to have the low the pace is so low, but the AI will not complain at all to us. And then the next slide. Okay, we move to the AI for writing. So we can master the writing process, not just the final product. So here, maybe the problem for the English language teachers or lecturers is when their students are having the final product or the writing product that is perfect, but the process is not true, or they just use the prompts and then the AI can just have the final product of their writing. But here, actually, the student can do the drafting. Student can formulate raw ideas. So the ideas is from the students, not from the AI. And then the AI interventions here is the system suggests the structural rewrites and then tone adjustments, whether it's casual or formal, and also the vocabulary expansions. But actually, it's before the AI interventions, back then, long time ago, we familiar with Grammarly. we have write our own writing, and then we just upload it into Grammarly, and then the Grammarly suggests whether there is the incorrect words, incorrect grammar, and then we want to adjust the tone when we want to submit it into our just casual lectures, or we want to submit it into the more formal occasions. And then there's also the critical evaluations here. So students interrogate the AI suggestions and also choose the best path. We can also like doing conversations with the AI if we didn't agree with the ideas from the AI, we can argue like that. And then for the next slides. Okay, here is the articles that is written by Sinzo, leveraging artificial intelligence technology for English writing, introducing the word tune as a digital writing assistant for FL writers. So it's actually same as Grammarly. So here Zhao said that WordTune is a AI-powered writing assistant that understands the writer's idea and suggests options for rewriting them using different tones, casual, formals, and then the language is shorten and then expand. This tool can help FL writers maintain a continuous flow and also learn useful ways to express their ideas in written English. Here, the figure 1 is an example of the rewrite suggestion via WordTune. So here we can see if, for example, we write WordTune is a good digital writing assistant, and then the AI will suggest for rephrase here. WordTune is an excellent digital writing assistant, or WordTune is a useful digital writing assistant. A good digital writing assistant is WordTune. WordTune is one of the best digital writing assistants. So we can just choose the best for our writing. And then the next slides too. Okay, for the literary studies, we actually can also use the AI. So here we can distill the literary complexity with natural language processing. Here, the navy color here is the raw data. If we have the raw data, there's the massive literary text, and then all, for example, the historical context, and then the cross-cultural literatures, and then the AI and natural language processing is the sentiment analysis and then stylistic tracking, and then they search for the words frequency and then the motif identifications, and then the AI will quantify the linguistic insights provided by the students. And then what is the human task here? The human task is for the subjective interpretations and then emotional resonance and also complex critical theory debates. So AI quantifies the text that the human qualifies the meaning. And then for the next slide. Okay, so actually we will talk about the collaborative between AI and teachers and students in the classroom. So the actors here are the teacher, the students, also the AI systems. So the teacher, the role from the teacher is shifting from the information provider into the facilitator and also the ethical guides. And then the students shifting from the passive consumers to the creator and also the critical evaluator. So, and then what the AI system act as the tireless peer and then smart friend and then data resource. So integrating AI increases motivations by promoting peer-to-peer and also peer-to-AI role playing. And then, okay, well, actually AI is mainly beneficial for our self-regulations, also the learner at autonomy. If we use AI and if we have AI in our life, it's actually make us easier to do our work. And we can see it for number 1 is we need to set the goal. So AI helps learner diagnose weaknesses and also set the benchmark. And then the continuous practice, it is the 24/7 access to immersive language environments outside the classroom. And then the adaptive feedback AI will give us the instant feedback, the hyper-personalized error corrections, and then progress the monitoring. AI data analytics provide visual dashboards of linguistic growth. So the ultimate goal of AI is not to replace the teacher, but to equip the learner for lifelong autonomy. And then, okay, so the idea of critical literacy actually to merge the three things here, the technical applications, the ethical awareness, and also the pedagogical interactions. So we start from the technical application. So it means that we need to understand the prompts, natural language processing capabilities, and also the system's limitations. And then the ethical awareness to navigate data privacy, bias, and academic integrity. And then the pedagogical interactions here is deploying an AI to enhance learning objectives, autonomy, and also assessment. So the critical AI competency here means that the ability to not just use generative AI, but to create tools, evaluate outputs, and also guide learners' responsibility. And then, okay, actually, our Dikti Scientech back then have already released the book about the AI use guidelines, panduan penggunaan generative AI and artificial intelligence pada pembelajaran di perguruan tinggi. So it includes the the challenge and also the rules we can use the AI in our learning process or learning activity. And then next one. Okay, we talk about the ethical framework in AI deployment. Actually, it's also stated in that book, the one that is prohibited, the one that is that's having the high risk, and also the transparent requirement. The prohibited one is the system manipulating cognitive behavior or biometric categorization. So it's unacceptable in English language teaching. Also, the system impacting the human rights, safety, or biometric evaluations or grading. It actually requires strict institutional oversights, and then the generative AI used to create learning materials, lesson plans, or tutoring content. I usually use AI also to make my lessons plans and also my learning materials before going to the class. And it is the standard ELT use case requires clear labeling that content is AI generated. So I need to make the disclaimer that I also use AI for my lessons plan and also another thing that is related to my teaching and learning processes. And then next book. Okay, so we can also defend our data privacy and also academic integrity. We need to, not we can, but we need to. So protecting input and data surveillance here, LLMs training students' essays, also emotional reactions, and also personal data is the risk, but the guardrail is to ensure the strict institutional data privacy agreements do not feed sensitive student data into open and public models. And then evaluating the output, the system impacting human rights, safety, or biometric evaluations or grading. Okay, we need to shift the assessment from the final product to the process, assess in class, live, or require students to critique AI output. So we cannot just upload all the sensitive data into AI. Maybe nowadays people like to upload their pictures and then they edit it into some kinds of background and then also with the some kinds of style gitu ya. And then okay, we go to the summary. So everyone, AI will not replace the need for human teachers in ELT and also the literature. It is a highly capable tool that supports human critical thinking, literary appreciation, also the creative expressions. So the control is in us, in human. Thank you very much, Bapak Ibu. I will give it back to Bu Novi.
Thank you, Bu Ema, for the presentation. I will stop the share. Okay, Now, time for question and answer, or maybe Bapak Ibu have some suggestion, addition, comments, or refinement. We would like, we will be glad to accept all of that. Please do, Bapak Ibu. Yes, Bu Yuni, please do.
Thank you, Bu Novi and Bu Ema for nice presentation. My question is, if we use AI for doing such a kind of research, do you use all the findings from it, or maybe you have another tips? Okay, thank you.
Do I use the findings from AI, Bu?
Yes.
Okay. Based on my experience, I leverage AI by having brainstorming to find an idea, the novelty gap, something like that. And for the findings, I usually, based on my experience, I usually use the data that I collected from my observation. Maybe Bu Emma want to add?
All right. I usually use AI in findings for coding the raw data. For example, I have the raw data from the questionnaires and then from the interview, and then I plot it into AI, and then I give that kinds of prompts to make it like specific coding for me to make me easier to write it in my. So I actually use it through uni for what is it, for completing or for apa ya, untuk merangkum gitu ya, that raw data gitu Bu Yuni.
Okay,
Maybe it
thank you,
depends
Bu
on the
Novi and
finding
Bu Emma.
itself, ya Bu Emma.
Sorry, Bu Novi?
Depends on the findings. Depends on the design research. Maybe if the design is quantitative, we can ask AI to assist our findings to what is it? To organize the findings, the data, and maybe in qualitative, if we have any frameworks, we can use the framework and analyze by ourselves. And AI is leveraged or employed for any suggestion, something like that. Okay. Any other question, Bu Yuni?
Yes, Bu. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Bu Yuni, for the question. Okay, next, Pak Tommy, please do.
Thank you, Bu Novi and Bu Emma, for such a splendid presentation. I want to hear from you about your experience integrating AI in your classroom, because I think that the question that we need to address together is to help students not only use AI but also use it, and at the same time they can, like you said, that they can verify, they can check, they can determine that the AI result is valid or not. So you mentioned hallucination, AI hallucination, and could lead bias. And this year in our, yeah, in my institution, we are currently working on developing teaching approach or teaching models that accommodate students to use AI, at the same time could infuse the principle of self-regulated learning that you have mentioned before. So to uh, Bu Ema or Bu Novi, could you please share your experience in the use of AI so it can inspire us to do the same thing or to improve the practice of teaching AI for the students? Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe Bu Ema wants to be the first responder for Pak Tommy. Sure.
Okay. For actually, Pak Tommy, I have last semester actually. Bentar. Okay. Okay, sorry, Pak Tommy, for the disruptions. Well, actually, last
Okay.
semester, I want to share my experience last year when I'm teaching English for business in the third semester students of the LT departments. So, in that class, my actual goal is not for writing, actually. My goal is more to be in speaking. So, back then, when I'm teaching in the class, there is the role playing in job interview. So I want them to be the interviewee and I will be the interviewer. So they are act as the candidate of a job. So they apply for the job. So I told them to use AI for completing their job application letter and then their CV, because they are not in they are just pretending to be the one that they want to be. For example, there are in English language teachings, right? But their dream is not to be the English teachers. For example, they want to be the content creator, and then they want to be the beauty advisor. So they not have any qualifications, real qualifications, right, into that for that role, for that job role. So they can use AI to ask what is the requirements for applying for the beauty advisor, for example. And then after that, for the speaking, it's the real or authentic assessment that needs to be completed by the students. So after they are completing the writings for the job application and for using AI, and then they need to need to really understand what is their role, what the things that they have already written in their jobs applications, and then when they do the interview, they will become the expert of that role, whether walaupun mungkin mereka nggak bukan expertnya di dalam bidang itu karena mereka learning in English language teaching department gitu. And then also in the PPL, also in the last 2 semesters, actually, I think, and then I also told them to utilize AI for their teaching, because the micro teaching is only 1 semester, right, Bapak Ibu, in the university, and then they have no such experience to do the teaching practices. So they can use AI for their lesson planning and then for preparing their learning materials in class, so they can act confidently when they are teaching in the class. Maybe that's my experience, Pak Tommy.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that if you have FPS, you can share it with me. Okay. Thank you, Bu Ema, for the sharing of your opinion and
Yeah,
Okay, thank you,
experience.
Bu Ema. Maybe I would like to add, based on my experience, the use of AI in teaching learning process by our students still be a crucial concern so far, because when I ever have a small talks, maybe a small discussion with my students, I ask them how far you depend on AI And most of them say that the presentation of their reliance on AI is 80%. Most of them, maybe 90%. And it is, I feel so, segitunya ya ternyata. Ternyata I don't know about, Bapak Ibu, what about your student? Do you have the same experience with me or not? Whether your student of reliance on AI until 80 or more than 80% their reliance, and then I'm trying to I use AI, still use AI in my teaching learning process. I allow them to use AI, it's okay. But when you answer your question, the question, you have to be able to explain the reason behind your answer, why something like that. So they want or not, ready or not, they have to read, they have to clarify. But Pak Tommy, I don't attach the use of AI in my RPS actually. I just adapt the use of AI in my teaching learning processes.
Yeah, I have the
Maybe
same.
that's my.
Yeah, I share the same concern with you, Bu Novi, because yeah, if it is not regulated, the the students could use AI irresponsibly, because we know as a teacher, yeah, we can automatically know that the work or the composition or the writing result produced by students, yeah, AI generated or not. Yeah, they have the wonderful and perfect and beautiful, and you can say it, the work. They have the perfect work, and it would and by looking it at glance, we as a teacher simply understand that it is not their work, but it is AI generated content. And I also agree that one of the most effective way is not to teach technicality of using AI, but to prepare them to internalize or to be aware about self-regulation. Yeah. But furthermore, self-regulation is not enough. Not only self-regulation, but also institution regulation and national regulation that could bring uh, that could optimize and could provide boundaries uh, in the AI use. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Pak Tommy. Next question, Pak Bibi, please do.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity and thank you for your great presentation, Bu Emma and Bu Novi, about AI literacy. Is a foundational competency that enables individuals to understand, evaluate, and effectively use artificial intelligence tools. And my question is, in interaction with large language models, what is uh, what is the meaning of hallucination in AI? Yeah, maybe AI can process information that's sounding uh, meyakinkan gitu ya, but actually it is false or not true ya, gitu. So, what do you think about hallucination in AI? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Bibi, for the question. Of course, hallucination is often occurs when we use AI, especially generative AI. As you know that I have mentioned before that AI is a machine learning. So machine learning is a machine that have to be trained by data. And then the data is so big data that draws on from fiction data or non-fiction data or from social media like Twitter maybe and the other social media, Instagram, TikTok, and so on. And then that may lead to the hallucination. But sometimes when our prompt is too general, AI is unable to give an accurate feedback because of what is it? Because of the mixed data. So, for example, maybe AI cannot differ novel, the data from novel and from maybe article journal or article that is taken from credible website, something like that. AI mixed up gitu, Pak. Jadi mencampur adukan antara data fiksi dan non-fiksi. So it may lead hallucination. Maybe Bu Ema or Bapak Ibu wants to add.
Okay. I have found the case that when the students in my class using AI in writing the mini research or articles. Actually, that's not my class, but there is a students that submit their paper into the journals that I am the one of the editor. And then when I check the references, it's all hallucinations. It's just a fake references. They just want I think they use the ChatGPT and then they also ask ChatGPT to find the references and then write the references in side citation, also the bibliography or the last part of the references. But all that references is not true. That's all fake. So I think that's also the hallucinations, Pawi, because the AI has no access to that kind of the journal systems. They have no access to that journal system, so they can. We need to We need to feed them. We need to feed the AI. We need to upload the data. We need to upload the articles that we want to include it into our references, so that our references is not halu gitu, Pak. Maybe that's.
Okay, thank you, Bu Emma. Maybe any other question, Bapak Ibu? Or maybe Bapak Ibu wants to share your experience.
Maybe I want to share my experience. I think
Okay.
what has been mentioned by Bu Ema, when we got the students' work on writing, for example, and then we check it into by using another platform, just like Turnitin or AI Checker. Perhaps in Turnitin, maybe the numbers of or the percentage of the similarity is quite low, but then if you move to the AI checker, sometimes it is quite high. And then again, as mentioned by Poema, when we check and then we verify the link in the references, yeah, most of the links are fake and also cannot be accessed, yeah. And when it is, for example, I click one of the references, the reference, yeah, goes to the other link or even cannot be accessed, ya, and somewhere else gitu ya. Itu mungkin pengalaman saya ketika mau ngecek itu ya, salah satunya references itu. Kalau katanya sudah ketinggian, insya Allah itu AI kan gitu. Because we know our students' competence in writing and also in English speaking, for example. If maybe the language that they use is quite advanced and also unfamiliar words, yeah, it is one of the indicator basically to identify that they use the AI. But then again, we cannot strictly um, what is it? Disallow them to use the AI because it is a part of our life today in education or in the other aspects of life. But yeah, again, making sure for them being responsible to what they have done for using AI. I think it is one of the key to make sure that the work is not 100% AI produced and also uh, involve their opinions or their judgments, yeah, in using AI, not of reliance on the use of AI. I think that is my experience. Perhaps the other students will add. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Adib. So if we want to troubleshoot the risk of the use of I think it depends of our prompts. Yeah, so in my university or in IT study program, seems wants to open. Oh no, not wants to open. She wants to include prompting subject in their in their curriculum because it is important, yeah. And saya mau ngomong apa lupa tadi. Okay, then maybe next time. Okay, maybe any other question, Bapak Ibu? No?
Mas Andi seems to add something. Tidak ada ya Mas Andi?
Mas Andi mana?
Oh, Mas Andi is doing his job. Ya. Ya, sepertinya sudah sesuatu. Buat ya. Oh, Pak Umar pasti ini.
Pak Umar, Bu Nurul?
Pak Umar representing the Pak Umar's couple ya.
Kayaknya sudah siang ini, Pak.
Tempat
Semua
saya malah
pertanyaan
sudah sore ini, Mas.
ya, sudah tercover semua pertanyaan. I think that apa namanya presentation tadi sudah.
Syukurlah kalau begitu, Mas.
Okay, maybe I would like to share my experience. A couple days ago, I tried to check Buzu Fascinating article. Just copy paste some paragraphs from her article and I put it on the AI checker. And it is detected, AI detected 57%. And maybe it is not because the article is generated by AI, but it is because the hallucination of AI. So I think it is not confusing. Maybe saat kita menggunakan AI checker itu, misalnya, for example, it is detected 15%. It is the writing use AI. Tapi belum tentu juga itu menggunakan AI. Karena tidak mungkin dosen kita menggunakan AI. Gitu. So, di sini saya merasa lega karena tidak selalu tulisan tangan itu, tulisan kita sendiri itu akan dideteksi bukan AI gitu. Gitu Bapak Ibu. So, don't you worry. There are so many hallucination from AI use, bias, and so many other risks. Gitu. Okay. Should we close the course, Pak Wibi?
Yes, Bu. Kalau sudah
Oke.
kita baca.
Okay. Thank you, Bapak Ibu, for your attentive participation. Maybe we can see you next week for the other presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.